I didn't expect my YouTube journey to come to a complete stop in Arizona, just like I didn't expect to smoke like every day when I was in Hollywood, and I definitely didn't expect to feel the most alive and the most energized and motivated when I was staying in a tiny room in a condo with 3 other roommates, none of which belonged to me. But if I've been taught anything, it's that the spaces that we exist in and spend the most time in will shape us into who we become. And I started paying attention to how that applies to me. Hey, it's Emily, and I have been traveling around for the last 6-ish months. And I've been thinking about the different environments that I've been living in and the length of my stays and how all these things contribute to who I was when I was in these places and who I am now. And by the space we're in, I mean the city, if it's a house or even just a room, who else is there, where, what time of year has affected how I feel and what I focus on, and how every time I change environments, my priorities change and therefore I change too. Right now I'm staying in my mom's house in Arizona, and it's been a transition, to say the least. I am filming way less, and I've started writing a lot more. And that does include like YouTube scripts and writing and stuff, but it also, I think mostly is creative writing. At first I thought this was because I don't have like a dedicated space for really like my stuff. I kind of just showed up, but that is something that has been true in the other places that I've stayed, so I don't think it's that. I don't think it's the city or the temperature. It's quite hot. I just feel myself like going inward, not being very social. I think it's this like unconscious desire to be hidden, to stay small, to stay quiet, to stay inside myself. I honestly wonder if it's something about the family of it all, the staying in my mom's house or like being surrounded by other family members. Also the fact that I don't have a lot of friends here anymore, and or maybe it's just the intuitive thing to do. Maybe it's just like the astrological timing of it all. I'm very hyper aware of what I do while I'm here, if I leave my stuff out or how I leave my stuff out, what I say and what I don't say. Recently I've been trying to be out of the house as much as I can. If you could hear this voice that we have going on, my mom has these 2 adorable idiots that I just love so much, but they hate me, so I struggle to breathe, but they are worth it, I guess. I'm staying here for the month of April, so we're gonna work backwards in the timeline. So before this, in February and in March, I was staying in Hollywood. And that version of me was writing scripts like it was my job. Well, I guess it kind of was my job. Writing scripts, filming all the time, filming things for the sake of filming things I never followed up on, things that I completed and edited and finished and didn't upload, learning how to do my hair and my makeup, and learning about the ways that I want to dress in general, but also to be on camera. I spent hours every morning editing, writing. I filmed most days per week, I think. At this time I was alone for the first time in like 4 months. Before that, we'll get there, but I had roommates, I had Airbnb hosts. I think being alone and like in my own space was a game changer for sure, especially after that long. Most of my friends were pretty nearby. I was in Hollywood. I had friends in Echo Park and East Hollywood, so very close, and also friends in Highland Park and Santa Monica. Not as close, but still close enough. Despite having all this space, I still felt like kind of trapped almost. Driving around Hollywood, if you've ever done it, it's not for the weak, not for the faint of heart, and it's not for me. It kind of just sucks in general, but like at certain times of day, it is like genuinely impossible. And so I felt confined to my space in a neighborhood that wasn't like terribly walkable. I also didn't have a job, so I didn't have any money to just like, oh, I'm just gonna go out for the sake of going out. Probably not like the smartest idea. So I think because of that, I was smoking a lot, like every day, which depends on who you ask. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but for me, I did not love that. And I think that was because of the feeling of like, oh, I can't go anywhere. I don't feel like I can go anywhere. And that raises the question for me, like, was that actually true? Was I actually trapped, or did I just feel that way? And our feelings and the truth are not always the same. But nevertheless, that is how I felt, so that is how I responded to those feelings. I definitely feel more free here in Arizona, though considerably more lonely. I have probably in reality like 2 people that I'll see consistently besides my family, but being able to just go literally anywhere and it takes like no time at all. That is very freeing to just say, I'm gonna go to the gym. It's not gonna take very long to get there. Whereas in LA, like I knew that I was going to dedicate at least 20 minutes to being in the car no matter where I'm going, even if that is just down the street, while everything was just far enough away that it didn't quite make sense enough for me to walk either. Should I ever be in LA again for like an extended period of time, I better have a bike. I swear, I better have a bike or like a moped or something. Before Hollywood was Sophia's room, capital S, capital R, and that was in Echo Park. And she lives in this condo with 3 other people, and I stayed in her very tiny room. When I say very tiny, I mean, I think it's like 9 by 11, 8 by 11, like it's quite small. As far as I know, she's gonna be moving, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to stay there again while she's out of town, but that would be a place that I would go back to for sure. If you're new here, Sophia is my bestie SESD, and staying in her space was so inspiring actually. Her closet doesn't have a door on it, so her clothes were just hanging, and it created this texture that was like very warm and soft, and this was the beginning of January, and it was like, obviously it's never very cold in LA, but it was very cozy and warm. Having the absolute perfect view of downtown did not hurt either. Despite being so small and very full, it was not claustrophobic. I think it made me want to wake up, get ready and go, and then come back and get ready and go to bed. And like, it was truly like a bedroom. I think it's common for a lot of people to treat your bedroom as the place where you do a bunch of stuff, like working from your laptop in bed or eating in your room at your desk, and also just scrolling. But this experience was definitely like, I am here in this room to be in bed, to be winding down, or to be maybe just getting dressed and then going. And that was the absolute polar opposite of Hollywood. Hollywood was just one big studio apartment. It felt like I had this like giant primary bedroom, and I didn't have to leave my bedroom to go into the closet, to have a different sitting area, to just be in a chair on the couch. I could get ready in this little like bathroom nook that wasn't in the bathroom, but it was like on the way to the bathroom. And even the kitchen was like steps away from where the bed was. So I felt like I never had to leave my room to do or to get anything. And so I think that also contributed to feeling like if I don't have to leave, then I won't leave. And so like the trappedness was just kind of extended in that way. I don't know what that means, but hopefully that makes sense to you. And then there was the time before that. I'm calling it the East Coast blur because if I could remember anything about that trip, I would tell you. The highlights were Richmond, Baltimore, and New York City. That span of time, which was about a month, taught me exactly what I needed to know about traveling, and that is that I am not a fast traveler. I'm not a backpacker. I am not a go to a hostel for 3 nights kind of traveler at all. I am a slow traveler, I guess. If I could just be in a place for like 3 to 6 months and then move on, I guess that would make me a retiree to have a winter home and a summer home. Like that sounds amazing, but I don't have enough money for 1 home, let alone 2. Moving around too fast, you never really like know a place. And that is important to me, to know places and to know the people in them and to know the streets and the energy and the vibe of a city. Each of these places pulled something different out of me, and I think that's kind of the point of traveling. Every environment has different pros and cons and different challenges, and they reflect things that we didn't know about ourselves. All of this to say, I've learned that environments will not just influence you, but they can change you if you let them. Some places make me want to go out and be seen, and some places want me to stay inside and not speak to anyone. Some make me want to disappear and melt into the landscape, and others make me want to create and make and show. And none of it is good or bad. It all just is, and it's just information for me to carry with me. I also wonder too, if I go back to a place that I've been before, do I become a brand new version of me that I have yet to meet, or do I get to pick pieces of who I was when I was there last and become that person again? I'm sure it's a little bit of both. But versions of me exist all over the world, all over the country, and I am eager to meet them. And that is kind of why I just can't seem to plant my feet anywhere. I would love to know if this resonated with you, or if you have felt this in your life. Whether or not you are a traveler doesn't matter. In fact, if you don't travel very much, but you have found different pieces of yourself, just even within the smallest corners of where you live, I would love to hear about that. This little reflection video, I think, will serve me very well now when I travel for the rest of this year and beyond. Taking a second to sit and notice and reflect definitely helps ground you. And when you're traveling, it is easy to not feel so grounded. So if you're feeling stuck or uninspired or just off, maybe it's not you, maybe it's the place that you are in, maybe you should rearrange your furniture or go take a day trip or even just drive like 45 minutes away from where you stay. I look forward to reading about your experiences, and thanks for being here with me. I'll see you in the next one.